Hey guys, hello and welcome to Bilalism, the World Cup series. As you know, the game just ended. We all witnessed what we were pretty worried about, but if we're being honest, we all knew that this was a possibility. Um, Given the occasion, given the record, given the venue, this was a possibility. But just to quickly review the game started off in a pretty interesting manner. Pakistan lost the toss. India put Pakistan into bat. Pakistan also would have liked to bowl first, just like India, but that is not the luxury that they were given. So there they were batting. Abdullah Shafiq and Imam looked pretty cautious in the beginning. Obviously, only one of them was in really good form. That was Abdullah Shafiq. He looked good while he was there. Imam was being cautious, and to be honest, I, in my opinion, that was a really bad approach. Why were they being cautious? Right? Because if there was ever a time in the game to get ahead of the proceedings, that was in the first 10 overs. But fine, at that point they made a decision that they were going to be careful, and they only hit boundaries to really good balls, which makes me wonder if Siraj, and I don't know how many of you watched it, but if Siraj had not bowled that over, the first over he bowled where he gave three boundaries to Imam, what would our run rate really have been? And in hindsight, that probably would have been a good thing for Pakistan. They would have tried more because once they got those runs, they got very comfortable, and they just wanted to go at 4.5, 5 runs and over up until the 10th over. I thought that is where, in my opinion, the game was not lost, but the momentum was never taken away from India. In India Pakistan games, you have to take the momentum away from one of the teams, from the other team, which I thought Pakistan had multiple opportunities between the first and the 30th over, but they did not take the momentum away from India. If they had one good over, the next over was very cautious. No one was ready to take the game on. We didn't see anybody come down the track and hit the seamers or the spinners. We except Rizwan's few shots. Those are his part and parcel of his game. Other than that, we really didn't see anyone take the game on, and I think that is where Pakistan missed a huge trick. Um, Bumrah mentioned after the game that he started to notice, or they knew that the ball was going to start holding up in the pitch, which means the pitch will now hold the ball longer. So if the ball was coming through a little bit better earlier, it's going to hold. But when the pitch holds the ball, it also allows you, if you put some movement on it, for the ball to sort of grip the surface and move in different ways, which we saw. We saw that in Rizwan's dismissal. We saw that in Babur's dismissal. Babur's shot, we can call it a nothing shot in the end, but he does play that shot quite regularly in ODIs. Today, given the situation, given the moment, I think it's going to look bad what he did. But man, oh man, oh man, they the plan Pakistan had just didn't make any sense to me. Um, but because I have a lot of respect for someone like Babur and Rizwan, and I know they put their heart and soul into this. Obviously, I'm not going to criticize them too much. I just wish that they had watched the 2017 Champions Trophy final a couple of times and understood why Pakistan was able to win the game. In that game, every single important moment of the first inning as well as the second, Pakistan was able to take the initiative away from India. Right? Fakhar Zaman was there, who scored a lot of runs in the beginning. Once he was gone, then Babur was going at a nice click. Once he was gone, Hafiz was there. Imad was there. Right? These people, all the shots that they played in that game were not shots that they always play, but they were playing those shots because they wanted to stay ahead of the game. Pakistan couldn't stay ahead of the game today, which is unfortunate. Um, I won't even talk about India's batting. Obviously there was brilliant display of batting from their end, and the end take that I have on the game is that India is just a better ODI team in these conditions, um, especially in World Cups. That we have seen that over and over and over again. There's nothing new about it. So now that we know that's the case. I think whenever Pakistan plays India in ODI World Cups, we need to go in with slightly different mindset as a team. We need to go in with a different kind of preparation, and we need to put preparation in a year or two in advance, right? Clearly, our preparation has been off. We don't have Nasim, the guy we worked so hard on. So our opening bowling combination has changed. Clearly, Shaheen is not bowling at his best. He has played so much cricket this past summer. He was in England playing T20s after T20s after T20s, and he looked unbelievable. But as a fast bowler, there's only so many miles you have in you, and if you're just going to waste them on on T20s, then I don't think it's going to help you. Now, I would be very supportive of him if he was going to play county cricket in England, because I know that even though he's risking injuries, but he's going to pick up a skill or two as to how to bowl in longer format, how to set batsmen up. In our need to essentially, um, just be good in T20s, we have not allowed Shaheen to become a top level test bowler. And in ODIs, it's the test bowler part of you that makes you successful, not the T20 bowler part of you. And as a T20 bowler, as long as you're able to surprise the batsman with variety in those 4 overs, you'll do okay. Occasionally, you produce a brilliant delivery, which Shaheen is very much capable of. You're going to do okay. But a test match bowler understands how to set a batsman up. If you guys notice how Rohit Sharma trapped South Shakil today, and I understand Kuldeep is not a test bowler yet, but he absolutely can bowl in tests, right? He's able to focus, he's able to concentrate and set batsmen up. So what they did was they pushed fine leg fielder from short square leg back to fine leg or white square leg. I can't remember exactly where it was. So they put this thought in South Shakil's head that, look, you can get a single here, right? You can just turn the ball to square leg and get a single. And what they did was they brought the long on fielder in to mid on. So there were two options that South Shakil had. One was that he would go down the track if the ball wasn't full and hit that ball over long on, right? So he could have gotten a boundary there. He didn't opt for that option. That option obviously was a lot riskier. Had he done that, people would have criticized him even more. So instead of that, he decided to walk a little bit too off stump and turn the ball to square leg for a single. And when he did that, the balls ended up skidding into his pad a little bit faster than usual, so he got trapped. But that's all captaincy, right? That's understanding how to play with the mind of the batsman. So you got to give Rohit Sharma a lot of credit for it. You got to give Kuldeep a lot of credit for it. You got to give Hardik Pandya credit for how he bowled at very important occasions, along with Siraj. Siraj just kept coming at Pakistani batsmen, and Pakistani batsmen overall, they tried. They really tried. When collapses like these happen, kind of like what happened to India in Australia when they got all out for 30 or 40 runs or something like that, you can't really overanalyze these situations. There's just an implosion of mind. It happens, no big deal. We have to forget about that part of the game as fans. What we need to really analyze is what happened when Babar, Rizwan were there and Abdullah Shafiq and Imam before that. That was the game. That was the part that we could have turned that into something more substantial, but we couldn't, right? And the question is, why could we not? Was it because we were targeting for a much bigger score than we should have? Was it because that there was constant pressure of 100,000 people that were extremely loud, obviously, in our ears, and the occasion, the moment, we just weren't good enough to handle it? Because we were pretty much all set to get a decent score. Not saying that Pakistan was going to win if they had scored 280, 290. They definitely needed 350 to win, right? Doesn't matter what the commentators were saying. I can tell you, I've played enough cricket to have my judgment on it, and that's Pakistan still needed to cross 330 at least, get close to 350 to be able to win this game comfortably. Now, they could have made a game out of 280, 290, yes. Should 280, 290 have been the initial target? Yes. And then they could have then tried to go faster. But 150 in 30 overs with only 2 wickets down was not great run rate, right? It was promising. They could have gone places from there, but it was not great run rate. It was 4 to 5 runs and over. And to get to 350, you have to go close to 7 and over. So at some point, they needed a big, big, big push, right? And And Babar got out trying to sneak a single to third man to a straight delivery, which he missed. 9 times out of 10, that's a single, right? For that to happen, for Rizwan to get the ball he did, for Sao Shakil to get out, for Iftikhar to get out the way he did, these are series of unfortunate events all taking place at the same time in the same game within 30 or within 10-15 minutes of the game. That's highly unusual. Hence my point about we can't think too much about it. However, before Babar and Rizwan got out, that is what I'm talking about, right? Were they doing all the right things? I think for the most part they were. I do think that Babar was more focused on making sure that he gets some kind of a score, so he gets the monkey off his back, so no people stop criticizing him, that he's not scoring runs against big teams or not scoring 50s against India. I think he was a little bit maybe too focused on that, and that didn't allow him to understand that he can actually take control of the game, like we have seen him do against England so many times in ODIs. So that's okay. He's still young. He's going to learn, and he is going to have to understand the difference between being a captain and being a batsman. And in that situation, he was being a batsman. Completely understand he was under pressure, but it's very unfortunate for us as fans that all of these things came together at the wrong time, right? Babar's not amongst runs leading up to such a big game. Abdullah Shafiq, who was in good form, he for some reason decided to walk across the line to a ball which was straight, and he missed it. There was nothing special about that ball. So all of these things happening at the same time, when that happens to you in general, I feel in life, you just say, you know what? It just wasn't my day. And if you have made wrong decisions, or this many people have made wrong decisions, I think I do sort of agree with Mickey Arthur's point where he said that it didn't seem like an ICC game. It seemed like a bilateral game where we didn't even hear Dil Dil Pakistan even once. Not even once, but not enough times like you typically do. And I have been to ICC World Cup games. It's a pretty balanced approach, right, for both teams when it comes to playing music and DJs and all that. That obviously was not the case here. So there was extreme pressure. Extreme pressure off the crowd can make you make bad decisions in moments where we sitting in our living rooms watching this quietly would feel like, wow, this is going great. All we got to do is just play 50 overs and we have to score. But what we don't understand is when that crowd is in your face and in your ears, you are not just playing the 11 players from the other team. You're playing against your own mind. And I'll tell you that the most difficult thing in life to do in any art form, anything you do, is when your mind is not with you, when you don't have complete control of your mind. So we failed there. And I personally, as a fan, forgive them. It is okay. You tried. It happens. But at the same time, we also knew that India had a better team for the occasion. They had a more balanced team. They have put in more work in their team. They prepared Kuldeep Yadav. They didn't expose him to even Australia before the series. They did better. They won. We as Pakistani fans, we should, obviously we're going to be sad, right? Whenever we lose to India, it hurts. But it's okay. It's okay. These are good guys. Babar, Rizwan, these are patriotic people. These are people that will never, ever, ever sell the country for money. Unlike the superstars we used to have in the 90s. I'm going to do a separate video talking about those superstars that I'm referring to that, we worship, but I'm sorry, they should not be worshipped. They should not be respected. These people, Babar Rizwan, these are the real heroes. They put their bodies, their existence on the line every single time they go out to bat, every single time they go out to field. These are the people that need our love and support, especially when they lose. This is the time, guys. Show support, show love. We're going to need these guys to move on. We're going to need these guys to stay focused and not worry about this game. And the only way they're not going to worry about us, if they see us on social media, on TV channels, tell them that it is okay, guys. It is no big deal. We understand. But now, focus on bigger things. Focus on the next few games. We have seen in 2011, Pakistan did beat Australia in India. Australia is not going to do well in these conditions, doesn't matter how balanced their team is, because they just don't get it. They don't understand how to win big moments in these conditions. Our game against South Africa and New Zealand, both of those games are going to be huge now, and England. But England, remember, in 2011 lost to Ireland in these conditions. They couldn't even stop Kevin O'Brien from scoring a big 100, chasing over 350 or 330, something like that. Not 350, sorry. So we got to stay positive, and we're going to enjoy every single game. We're going to review games together, and I'm hoping that we're gonna see something incredibly new. I am hoping that Babar is not going to allow this loss to get to the team's psyche. If he does, I still understand. It's a big loss, right? Not only have they lost the game, they've lost a chunk of a pretty good run rate that they had. But lots of games to come. It is going to be an exciting World Cup. Best of luck to Pakistan. Best of luck to Babar. All of you guys stay happy. We're going to talk soon.